Welcome to Network Today. I'm so excited. This is Cheryl Powers.
I'm Rob Bliss.
And we're here to take you from meeting people to
making money.
That's right. It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. And it's a long relationship game. You've heard us say that before in the other episodes, but we're here to help you shorten that game. And today is a really, really good topic to help do that.
A big one. Confidence. And that's kind of a tough word to explain, Cheryl.
It is. What does it mean?
No, I think, to me, confidence is all about the belief in yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to be positive. You've got to change that mindset of and believe in what you're doing. I mean, one of my heroes, Walt Disney, talks about, 4 C's of business success: curiosity, confidence, courage, and consistency. But he said, number 1, confidence. And again, it goes back to that, you're believing in what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's that you've got to get fully in the game. You've got to just believe in what you're doing is truly where your heart's desire is. And so confidence, again, I think it's belief in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it is belief in yourself, but it's hard to have sometimes when maybe you're going through a difficult time, right? Maybe it could be a challenge with your service provider if you happen to be like working in that world. Or it could be that maybe you had something come against you from a person that like throttled your confidence. So confidence isn't always easy well, it might be easier to get than it is to maintain.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think we talked about this before about how, getting an accountability partner, getting someone that you can help you get through those tough roads on the bump, those bumps on the road.
That's right. That's right. So I'm going to ask you this. If you had to grade your own confidence when you first got started in the sales process, dial your brain back to that time. What would you give yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? What would your confidence level be at that time?
I think there's a 2-part answer there. So I'm going to make this a little bit complicated.
Hedge your bet. Okay.
So first of all, on the low scale, when I first started in networking, again, new concept, but because of confidence, because of belief in myself, I bumped that up to the high scale because I knew I could do it, even though I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Right.
But it was the belief in myself gave me the confidence that I could overcome and get used to whatever this new concept of networking was about.
Right. How do you get belief in yourself, though?
Well, that's a great question. I think it's a mindset. Is the glass half full or half empty? Again, it's a belief system. It's positive energy. I mean, it's the people you hang out with. I think there's a lot of factors in building that confidence level. But again, I think it's positive energy, and I think it's the people you hang out with.
Okay. So you didn't even look at my notes for today, but my word of the week is positive. I know, you didn't even know that, right? So, and I happen to think so I like that term positive, and I was really thinking of like positive attitude, and bringing positivity into the room, just because people like to be around that. And that helps build your confidence, even if you don't have like total genuine confidence in your ability or your service yet, because you don't have enough history behind you to say, I've got some really great success stories. But just having that attitude of positivity means people will start to surround you and help you build your confidence as you're kind of, I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but maybe a little. Yeah. Maybe a little.
I totally agree with that. I think a big factor in my learning that was the first self-help book, personal development book I read back when I was probably 21, 22 years old was Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, the classic.
Yeah.
And by reading that book, that gave me that positive outlook on my life, on my work. It gave me the confidence again. I think too, what it did, it gave me the knowledge of what I was lacking in certain areas. I could go back to that book and learn from it. So I think I really got to give a lot of credit to that book, Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, so when you started out on that scale of 1 to 10, what was the number that you said? You said low confidence, but what would that number be?
It was probably 2 or 3.
2 or 3. So your confidence now. So let's move forward to current day, modern times, today. What would your confidence level be on that scale of 1 to 10?
11 or 12.
Look at you. Well, congrats, my friend, my little Bucky Cup friend. An 11 or 12, man. Okay. So for me, I'm going to grade myself based on when I first got into radio advertising sales. I had no confidence getting in. I had an amazing manager that built me up through product knowledge. That for me is key to confidence. Be a master at your craft. And I was, because I was all radio. Love. So I did everything in radio. So I was super confident in that ability. But then I moved to the Dallas market. Uh-oh. Now I think I've got lots. I think I'm good. Like but I was so way out of my league when I got to Dallas radio. And so going to networking events back in 1987, I think is when I got into Dallas radio. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a fish out of water. So all of a sudden my confidence that would have been, I'd say an 8 or a 9, now dropped right down to a 1.5. I mean, so because I didn't know what I was getting into. So again, knowledge, right? Preparing yourself for asking questions. I just thought I was it, right? Hey, I know I'm super successful here, so I can be super successful here. One did not translate to the other. So I had to work at that. And now present day, I'd say confidence. I'm still not, I wouldn't give myself an 11 or 12. I'd say 9. Okay. I still have room to grow in that confidence level area. So
I still got room to grow. I want to hit 15, 16, 17. So,
it was a scale of 1 to 10, Rob. But okay. That's right.
Overachiever. What can I say?
That's right. Teacher, what can I do to get bonus points? So there you go.
But, it brings up a good valid point here, Cheryl. Kind of what you went through there is what are the ways that we can, build our confidence levels? It's just, you don't just snap your fingers. You don't just read a book. What are some things that you think that will help us build our confidence levels?
I think you just have to, I think repetition, I think getting out and in regards to networking, because that's what the Network Today show is all about. I think get out and network and watch those around, mimic those who are doing it well. That's what I'd say.
That's a good point.
So I think that helps you kind of vicariously build your own confidence through theirs, right? Stand side by side with them while they're being confident and working the room, so you can kind of start gleaning that activity. What about you?
Again, what I look at is from a learning point of view, I would say it would be, setting goals and achieving them. So having my own plan. That's a great. And so getting that exercise of getting in that habit every day of setting a goal and then you kind of realize, I can do this. I can do this. So
yep. I can. So with that, because we're talking about confidence, I've got a really great confidence builder we'll talk about next as we go into our Grand Slam, which is our success story section. All right, coming right back.
Are you having trouble with your VoIP phone system? Smart Office USA to the rescue. We're a local company here in DFW with real people, certified technicians, and we even come to your office to help you. Smart Office USA, representing the #1 VoIP phone system on the planet. And we are right here in DFW, ready to help you. Call us 214-272-0921 or go to www.smartofficeusa.com.
All right, so we're back talking about our Grand Slam, which is really our success story, right? So something that you really felt like you hit it out of the park. And it could look, it doesn't have to be like a money story.
Right, absolutely.
Or it could be a money story. So we're about taking you from meeting people to making money, by the way. So
yes, I want to do that, Cheryl.
That's right. Do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll do it because, again, what I want to focus on, my Grand Slam of the week is helping fellow networkers, helping new networkers. And funny story, I met a guy from my curling league. His name's Jason McLeese. And you know how when you go to events, you just sort of say, hi, how you doing, week after week after week. Well, then I ran into him at a chamber event. And I said, hey, I know you. And then And I didn't know where it was from because, he had his, suit and tie on and but he looked familiar. And we found out that it was the guy from the curling league. And I said, awesome. I said, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And then I invited him to Mid-Market Professionals because he was saying he's new into this position. Wanted to, he had to go out and meet new people because he was on 100% commission. Right. And so I said, man, you got to go to this, it's in a couple of days and it's an awesome group. And then, matter of fact, today I got an email from him thanking me for inviting because he had a great time at that group. He said, it was awesome. Thank you so much, Rob. And that's what I love about networking.
Beautiful.
You meet new people, you try to help them out. And because we've vetted out these awesome groups that you post on your calendar all the time, is that we're helping other people and we're getting them the opportunities to meet new people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And helping him build his confidence.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that's the name of this game, this particular episode. And I met him and he was just so thankful, which was our episode before.
Right.
And that it just really seemed to build his confidence in regards to networking and said he couldn't wait to come back.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear about what your story is this week.
So mine goes way back, actually. So this is, and it kind of has to do with what you're talking about. But my husband actually was the first one. I was still in radio and he started our business. And so he took it upon himself to go to Meetup and start looking up events. And he found an event called NetWeavers in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And he goes to this event down on McKinney at the old Cafe Express, which is sadly gone.
Oh,
but
I love that.
I know, I did
love
too.
That place.
But anyway, he met these great people and he comes home and he's all beaming with confidence. And he says, hey, Cheryl, we're going to have a happy hour with these people that I met through this group, this networking group. And one of the guys went to Oral Roberts University, which is my alma mater.
Oh.
And he's the leader, Jeff McKissick. And he said, so we can go have a beer at the happy hour and you get to meet him. I'm like, how great is that? So yes, go, my ORU person, we're going to go have some brew. So that was probably 2010, maybe. So what happened at Mid-Market Professionals this week with your friend, right that you sent there, was since I know him now, Jeff McKissick, so well, and we've worked together on other speaking engagements, he had come up with this new topic called leverage, level up your networking. So he did a great 20-minute, 3 things. I'm not going to give the spoiler because we'll probably talk about it at some other point, but he's riveting, and everybody walked away with a pearl of to-dos from that event. And what was so beautiful was just to be there, surrounded by so many great people, some I didn't know, many I did know, and then with a speaker that I've known for, 12 years or so, and that we still have a good relationship. So that, and out of that spurred some, oh my gosh, so thankful for this talk you had, because it made me think about some other things that we could do together, right? So it's activity that breeds activity that breeds activity, but you do have to stick with it. Right. I could have just said, oh, hey, that was great. Yeah, blah, 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 and move on my merry way. But we started talking about new things that we could do that spurred out of that conversation last night at Mid-Market. So awesome.
Brainstorming. I love it.
Yeah.
Get the whiteboard out. Put the ideas out there.
That's right. And it wasn't a direct moneymaker, but it was the discussion of creating some revenue generating opportunities together. Right. So.
Absolutely. Great.
So I love that. So it was, I felt like it was a good grand slam. And I'll tell you, our confidence guest that's coming up, just oozes confidence.
Two thumbs up on that.
That's right. So we'll be right back. You're smart. You're watching this. But did you know that 2 out of every 3 Americans will deal with a legal issue this year? Half of those will spend 13 days working on those issues. At Empowered Advantage, we help with the stuff of life. Letter M as in marvelous, howardadvantage.com. Okay, she's in the house. It is the amazing Debbie, and I'm going to say Mrazek, because I always have to second guess myself. But oh my gosh, what a special guest. Rob,
so great to be here.
Well, I'm excited because, she gave me an autographed version of her book out there, which is one of my favorite sales. So we got in the back there, the Field Guide to Sales, which is awesome, incredible book. So
Headed to the Smithsonian. Yes, I'm sure. The Hall of Records. So just a little background on Debbie. Why I love her is because she's got such a sales history, but really tactical applications. So a lot of sales, coming from a sales world myself, right? A lot of sales trainers, it's very ethereal, right? It's these giant concepts. You're so tactical. And so she is president of the sales company. Again, just super simple and straightforward. I love that. But also got some awards under your belt recently, too.
Yes, thank you.
From D Magazine.
Yes.
So, I love that.
Thank
so
you.
what was that for? What was the award for?
That was for the Dallas 500. They picked 500 people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that are doing things and trying to make a difference. And it doesn't matter if you're a one-person company or you're a million, type of thing. And then the other one was for the Alliance of Technology and Women, which I had started 20 years ago because my background is in the technology sector. And not many women were moving up and even choosing technology. And so it's been 20 years, so I received a Lifetime Achievement Award for that.
Hey,
Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you. I'm very honored.
Well,
yes.
We're honored to have you here today.
I love being with you guys anytime.
the part, Cheryl, that I love about Debbie is the fact that, especially now when we're talking about sales and learning sales techniques and it's also the emphasis on the heart of selling. And that's where she just blossoms. Yeah. That she has such a big heart. And that every time I get the opportunity to be with her one-on-one or at networking events, I feel it. I mean, she has that charisma about her. I feel it. So she's so authentic. And I love that about you, Debbie.
Thank you.
Yes, she is authentic. And it's that authenticity that leads to the topic that you're going to be the expert on today here in the next couple of minutes as we talk about confidence. Because you really exude confidence. Where does that come from?
Years. No.
Good years, all good years.
Can I back up for a moment when there wasn't confidence? You know, a lot of people think confidence is when people, they speak loudly and they sound like they know everything and all. And a lot of times those are the people that have the least amount of confidence. And so when I started in the technology sector, I knew my products and knew what we were doing. Texas Instruments was the company. They were renowned. That was all good. And I was going out, just kind of don't breathe during the sales call and do it and come back. And I had a woman one day say to me, just kind of off the cuff, she said, the sooner you start acting like you instead of trying to be them, this is going to go a whole lot better.
Wow.
What brilliance.
And it was. And there were very few women. I was the only woman doing outside sales, going out in Houston in the seismic industry. And so I thought, okay, if you can imagine, you two know me now, imagine me never speaking of my family, of my grandchildren, of my beagle. I mean, that would not happen now. You know me, you know what I think, what I'm up to and all. But back then, I only talked to you about your project and the products that go in it that I want to sell you and that. Well, the first month, she was holding me to the fire. And I went out and I was like, I am Debbie and I do know what I'm talking about and I deserve to be here and I worked hard and, and just started being me, who was confident inside, but was afraid showing it outside would be like the peacock. Like that's what a lot of people think confidence is. Look at them strut, kind of thing. That's right. But the truth is I'm an introvert. And so finding a place that was comfortable for me to demonstrate that confidence without being a peacock or know-it-all or that kind of thing. And just that gentle confidence, like when somebody says, she's got it. What is it? I don't know, but she's got it. And when people started saying that, it's like, I know I have it. I do. I could finally own it. And walk into all kinds of situations that were unknown.
So, Rob, what about Debbie really made you think, hey, we need her to talk on confidence?
Again, it's every time I run into her at a networking event, she comes up to you, she greets you with her big old smile and a great greeting. Again, it's her heart. You just feel that that charisma there, the karma that she exudes, and you just feel so. You're just glad to be around her, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And let me
you.
tell you what I think too. So I think confidence comes from certainly being confident in yourself, but also helping build confidence in others.
Absolutely.
Right. So when you pour into others, which is probably why awards come your direction more often than not, and you, when you're in a group, edify other people so quickly, like you're so quick to applaud them, to find their good stuff, that that's just beautiful. So you're helping them build their confidence, which then in turn just naturally comes back to you, the old boomerang
Absolutely.
effect, right?
And, one thing about networking, I would say, I didn't know this in the beginning. You'd be invited to an event and you'd be a guest. So I might be a little hesitant. The whole group knew each other. I did not know them and all. But now, and I use the example, we know a gentleman, Bill Wallace, who has an organization called Success North Dallas, and it did not meet in person for 2 years. And then a few months ago, they did meet in person. Well, when you walked into that room, it was electric. There have been people part of that group for 30 years who know each other, had not seen each other in 2 years, and it was just off the chart. Well, when the meeting was over, one of the things I learned long ago, and this comes from being an introvert, is I look for the person that's by themselves, okay? And so the room, when it's over, it's like, I want to come hug you and you and you and you. And I see this woman waiting patiently her turn to speak to the speaker, but you could tell she was just, and I went over, I said, are they crazy? She's like, well, something's going on. And I said, well, they've been around for 30 years. They all know each other. They haven't seen each other for 2 years. And she went, oh. And I said, so who did you come here today? Who did you want to know? And so she told me what she wanted. I knew immediately there was a guy in the room, and I turned around to point. He had already left. And I said, I'll get you with him. And she goes, okay. And I said, no. He knows 100,000 of the people that you want to know.
Wow.
Well, then when he spoke to her, he explained to her he actually knew 600,000. So fast forward, I'm on a Zoom call, an international Zoom call with women, and I did not know this woman was on there. And they were talking about growing your business and stuff. And she said, let me tell you, there's a lady on here named Debbie, and this is what she did to me in this room of 200 people. And she said, and I'm doing business.
Wow.
And so having
awesome.
That confidence to walk up to a stranger now. But for me, the way that makes that easier is not when there's a group. I'm still not great when there's a group. But if there's an individual, over there. And my most fun individual story, I was at a breakfast meeting. Who doesn't love those at 7 a.m., dressed to the nines? So I'm there as a guest of somebody, and I've greeted them and said hello. And I look around and I see a gentleman kind of up at the front of the room, and he's just like twiddling, looking at his watch and all. So I went over. I always extend my hand and say, hi, my name's Debbie Mrazek, and you are? And what do you do? He was the CEO of Deloitte.
There you go. Never know.
I went on to coach for people at Deloitte. It was just like, you never know. So I look for those other quiet people.
I think that's wonderful. So tip. All right. So if you want a tip, if you're an introvert, the tip is go find other introverts and begin that authentic conversation.
Because they want to talk.
I love that. Well, we need a part 2 to this for sure, because we could talk about this for a long, long time. But I want just a really quick, you've got a little known fact about yourself before we close.
Most people don't know Johnny Unitas was my friend.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I sold printed circuit boards, and people don't know this the way football is today. But back then, he had 8 children. And so he had to get a job when football was over. So he had a friend that worked for Westinghouse. And so he went into the printed circuit board business with him, and we sold printed circuit boards together. It was a great
beautiful.
time.
We need a whole book on this, right? So we need a book on all these great stories. So
there's a man who could tell stories.
That's right. And you need to get in touch with Debbie. So get in touch with her. It's Debbie, as in the Debbie. But I want you to spell slowly your last name for everybody so they can find you on LinkedIn.
I love it. It's Mrazek.
All right. Debbie Mrazek, thank you so much. The Sales
Thank
Company.
you. I love being with you.
And her book.
And her book.
Yeah. So
come on down to Rob's library.
And it's available on Amazon. Right? All right, we'll be back. Debbie is just one of the most lovely, inside and out, professional friend partners ever. She's just lovely. So,
I like hanging out with her because she makes me feel so comfortable, warm, And I always learn something.
And confident.
And confident.
That's right. So what was your big takeaway from our chat with her?
I think the big takeaway was the fact that her approach at a networking event. She looks for someone standing by themselves. An introvert, which she said she was an introvert. Which again, I kind of understand that because I am really an introvert myself. It took me many years to be able to come outside my shell.
That is what?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I would not talk to anybody. My big story here. Well, I don't want to. I want to talk about Debbie.
Yeah, right.
But the takeaway was again, go to an event and look for that one person
that's right,
standing by themselves.
That's right. And so one of the lessons I learned early on in my college career that is kind of a life lesson that really leads into what she was talking about. So give out of your need, right? So whatever it is that you feel you're lacking in, give more of that. Whether that's money, whether that's things, whether that's time, because it comes back to you. And so what she was talking about really spoke to that to me. And that's, hey, if you need more confidence, well, then start by helping somebody else build their confidence by edifying them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So great tips. Can't wait to have this conversation again.
Are you a creative or entrepreneur with a business idea that needs just a little bit of help? Purple Cow Branding is the best digital marketing agency for your small business. Whether it be your website, social media, branding, or even video production, we're here to help your business be outstanding. Go to purplecowbranding.com to find out how we can help you. Purple Cow Branding, much more than digital marketing.
Man, love that guest, love that discussion. I could talk about that all day.
Well, confidence is a big deal. And I think it's a very important part of when you're out there networking, when you're out there kind of showing your wares, you've got to have that confidence so that you can then acclimate yourself to the people in the room, that you can build your community, that you can develop your followers. That's the whole thing that networking is all about, building your community. And you got to have confidence.
That is so right. And when you're talking about that, the first word that came to my mind was like magnetism. Like magnetic. Have you ever had that situation where you're like, you're not feeling successful and you're really pushing through, and then all of a sudden things start clicking, right? And then all of a sudden that confidence breeds success to everybody. And then you're like, everything I touch is gold.
You got your mojo working.
Your mojo working. So yes, confidence is like a magnet for success moving forward. But sometimes you have to fight through it, right? You have to fight through it. No,
it's tough.
You have to fight through to get it.
Absolutely. It's tough.
You've got a really great top 10 list, which we will feature. We are not going to go through all of them. We're going to feature that online. So at networktodaydfw.com, go there, sign up, be a part of the Network Today Nation. I've picked one out of the top 10. Do you have one?
I got one. You go first.
Okay, I'm going to go first. It is number 9. Don't care what others think. That's been a problem for me my whole life. Yep. Believe it or not.
That does surprise me.
I've always worried about what other people think. And to the point that it's detrimental to so it undermines confidence.
Right.
People feel that, especially clients, right? They feel that I'm trying to be a people pleaser and not necessarily presenting the authority right at the table like I should. And so I'm worried about what they're thinking, and I'm worried about it. How am I coming off? And I'm worried about what I'm saying instead of just having confidence of what I'm talking about and asking the right questions so that we can lead to the right solution, whether it's mine or somebody else's. Right. So, and I don't struggle with it nearly as much anymore, but there are some times where you just kind of get cut off at the knees.
Yeah.
So I still once in a while go back to caring about what people think too much. Well,
I think that's being human. I think that's normal. But again, it goes back to the confidence building. We got to be there. We got to change our mindset. That leads me to number 10 is mine, where it says, do more of what makes you happy. And I really think that when you're happy, you're feeling your self-esteem is big, that you feel good about yourself. You got that positive energy flowing. And so being happy builds that confidence in you.
That's right. So word of the week, positive. Positive means moving forward, right? So it is that positive energy that helps build the confidence. And I totally agree with that. And doing what makes you happy, it's a hard thing to do when you're working hard because you just think you should just keep working hard. And the truth is you just wear yourself down, and people feel that. Even just, so say you're working from home, right? We have this whole hybrid thing now. Right. People are working from home, and building your confidence through having mentorships, through having accountability partners is so key, because when you start getting all that rejection thrown on you, or just a bad day, or maybe a service concern that just kind of threw you wonky, and you're just like, oh my gosh, and then you have to put your smile on for the next one. People feel that lack of confidence over the phone, even in just slight ways, and it can be a big difference maker.
No, absolutely. I think that's why we've got to be prepared, so that when we're going through that period of being down, or we just got destroyed by somebody on the other end of the phone, we got to be able to look in the mirror, put on our happy face. We got to pump ourselves up there. And we've got to develop those kind of techniques to help us, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen over and over and over again. But again, if we have the formula of how can we overcome that?
So you said mirror, and right before you said that, honest to goodness, I was going to say there are people who recommend, especially if you're working from home, peeps, put a mirror in front of you, right? Yeah. I've got a mirror on either side of my kind of workspace, right, so that I can check, and I can't tell you that like I dress up or anything. So I'll put a Zoom face on maybe, but it does allow you to see your demeanor, your posture. And if it's looking kind of like your countenance is like, it's coming across.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's coming across. So find somebody who can pump you up, right? Pump you up. Get that confidence going. So sales tools, I want to touch on this real quick as we wrap up. Sales tools for those who are working with teams or they've got employees. Okay. So these are a couple of things that you'd mentioned.
Well, it's how do I ignite the passion performance in your culture at work? It's so important, especially in today's, we hear all that discussion about millennials and that type of thing, which really, I don't really pay a whole lot of attention, because I think everybody's the same, no matter what generation is. But what I liked about this advice was, give your employees complete autonomy so they can perform their job. That's what the new generation is wanting. They want autonomy. The other thing is, create a compelling purpose. Yeah. A lot of times we're going around there and we don't have that purpose of why I come to work every day, what my company is about, what my personal mission is. So
yeah. Lack of purpose. Man, that is, and I've heard that from hiring execs, from talent execs, that there's, help people understand their purpose, and then you'll find the right spot for them. We'll all fall into place.
Absolutely.
Right. So we want you to sign up again at networktodaydfw.com, because we want to hear from you. This is really all about you. Other topics, other things you'd like to hear, if you'd like to chime in on this particular subject, confidence, then please email us. And I'm going to say confidence comes from repetition. I'm going to go back to that. And you'd mentioned my website, which you'll also find at networktodaydfw.com, and that's midmarketprofessionals.com. So you're going to see Midmarket Professionals, that link will send you to my event calendar. And get plugged in. And if you're not sure where to go, email me. Tell me kind of what you're looking for, and I'll help you with that, right?
Absolutely.
Because these are events, these are great networking events that in DFW that we vetted or support or host. So there we go. That will help you build your confidence. All right. So we have another great episode coming up next. And this was episode 11. Are you keeping track?
I'm keeping track.
Can you believe how many we've done? It's amazing. So go back if you haven't seen the other ones. There are 10 before this one for those, Mr. Ed, if you need to count. So yeah, this is number 11. So we're going to have another great episode coming up next week on another cool topic. And you just have to tune in to find out what that is.
And I just want to remind everyone from this episode, what is your takeaway? And for me, Cheryl, it is take the time to believe in yourself.
Okay. I love it. And maybe from an accountability partner, take the time to believe in somebody else. Maybe we build confidence by helping others build confidence.
I love that.
Right. So as I think about, I'm just like, hey, Rob, I really appreciate what you did. I'm thankful for that. So maybe that's a way that we can help each other build confidence
I love the idea.
Right?
Yeah. Give me 5 on that one.
Hey.
Boom.
All right. So again, go to networktodaydfw.com. You're going to see info at networktodaydfw.com if you've got comments and suggestions. You're going to also, when you join the tribe, get some special tips on Rob's library.
Right.
You're going to see the tech tips from me because I like tech stuff and I'm not very techie. So I want to hear from you on what you like and maybe some suggestions there as well. And then you'll also see my calendar. Right? So another awesome episode with you, my friend, as we take you from meeting people to
making money.
This has been a Purple Cow production.